All right, so here's an interesting question. My father just moved out of his house, my childhood house, into another location, and they're trying to sell the house. They realize that it doesn't sell well if it doesn't look nice, so they're going to start painting it now. So he asked me, first of all, can they take down the mezuzahs if they're painting the house? And then, does he have to put the mezuzahs back on afterwards before the next person comes in? So it touches on the question of, what's the reason why you have to leave the mezuzahs on the property that you're leaving? There's a law like that. If you leave a property, you should leave the mezuzahs on. It's not in all cases, though. So let's go to the law, the basis of the law. The Gemara, it's in the Gemara. Because it's not like just like some sort of just kind of like spiritual endeavor. It's really like a law in the Gemara. The Gemara says that if you leave your house, you should leave your mezuzahs on, and you should not do that if a non-Jew is coming in. Right? So if a non-Jew is coming in, you should remove it because you're afraid that they might damage it. Now, why do you have to leave it on if you know a Jew is coming in afterwards? There's two reasons that are offered, and they're worth thinking about when considering this question. One reason that's offered in the Tosfos is that you don't want to cause a situation where the person who's coming in is not going to be protected. There's a belief that there's certain negative forces and the mezuzah protects the person who's coming in from them. So if you remove the mezuzah, they're coming in, you're kind of you're entering them into a situation that's not safe. So you don't remove the mezuzahs for that reason. Another reason that's offered is that you shouldn't degrade or desecrate a mitzvah. So you had a mitzvah up there, you leave the mitzvah up. You don't like remove yourself from a mitzvah. It's there, you leave it up there. You don't kind of like degrade the mitzvah by removing it off the doorpost. So those are two reasons that are offered. Now, in my father's case, I told him to remove them, definitely for painting, because we do that, because you don't want the mezuzahs to get damaged. And in his case, I don't think he has to put them back on, because I don't think he was actively causing any of these two issues. He took off the mezuzahs not because he wanted to help them have the neck, not because he didn't take off the mezuzahs, and through his actions, he's causing the other person to be entered into a state where there's negative forces or energies. He took off the mezuzah because he wanted the place to be painted. The mezuzah is already off. He didn't actively cause that situation. And the other reason too, he's not degrading or like desecrating the mitzvah because he took it off for it to be painted. So he can take it off and leave it off for those two reasons, because he's not causing those two issues. There are a few other reasons why I think he doesn't have to put them back on. Here are other three, and then I'll summarize. So majority of the people who are moving into his home are going to be non-Jews, right? The chances are 95% of the cases are going to be that a non-Jew is going to be moving in. So Rav Ovadia Yosef says that if you have good chances that you're in a city with majority are non-Jews, then you shouldn't take the chance. You should remove it because you don't want the mezuzahs to get damaged. So yeah, it's like probably like a really strong one. Another point that's made is Rav Moshe brings of Yosef Eliyahu Henkin, the previous Rav Henkin, and he says that even if you have a Jew coming in, but you love your mezuzahs and they're very like beloved to you, and you know that the person's going to paint afterwards, you could take it down thinking that they're going to paint, and you take your mezuzahs and you don't have to even leave them for a Jew. So here, most likely it's going to be a non-Jew who's coming in. And a third reason is some people say empty house is not obligated in a mezuzah. So my father's house is empty right now, so it cannot even be obligated in a mitzvah at all, and mezuzahs at all right now, because he's not living there. He's living in another home. So to summarize, I think for several reasons, when he definitely should take down the mezuzahs because when he's painting, because that's to protect the mezuzahs. For several reasons, I don't think he has to put up the mezuzahs again. I think based on the reasons that are offered in the Gemara, that it could be damaging to the person coming in, or one could be degrading the mitzvah. I don't think he's doing that because he's taking them down for them to be painted. There are other reasons as well which support this. Number one would be if it's a majority of non-Jews coming in, so you would assume that a non-Jew would be moving in, and then also for the other two reasons, which is that you can, if for Rav Moshe or Moshe brought, and also it's going to be an empty house. I think for those reasons, he could take it down, and I suggested that he give them to me, not because I wanted them, but because I can hold on to them and give them to congregants who might need them. And so that's the opposite of degrading a mitzvah. That's elevating it so you can do another mitzvah with them. So I think that solves the situation on all fronts.